Hello and welcome to the studio. I'm Peter Stojanovic and this is Partnering for a More Sustainable Future.
Hospitals are inherently high consumers of carbon. They cost a lot to heat, they cost a lot to light. And some of the machines we run, some of the radiotherapy machines, for example, use enormous amounts of electricity. So we're very much taking a twofold approach, one being to address those things which are quick wins. There's a lot of single-use plastic in healthcare. We're focusing in on that and focusing in on simple things like replacing lights with LED lighting and encouraging that kind of individual responsibility of turn off your office lights, turn off your PCs, make sure you're not leaving heating on, because we also have challenges with our heating and cooling within the hospital. And then from a longer term perspective, looking at our strategy of digitising the hospital to reduce waste and focus more on patient care. Can that digitisation in stripping waste out of the organisation also reduce our environmental footprint? So a lot of really important parallels, I think.
We moved yesterday into a brand new building in Bankside Yards in London. It's an entirely sustainable building, entirely heated and powered by renewable electricity. Is BREEAM outstanding. So it's really allowed us to move from a kind of 90s building that really didn't have that sustainability credentials into something that we've really purpose built to be sustainable. Has been great, makes life a lot easier when you're not trying to retrofit this stuff. What we've also done is we've done that move is it's allowed us to hit other areas of sustainability. So as a law firm, we don't build stuff, we don't have high energy demands in terms of our operations, but it is basically down to property, travel, and then IT. So last year we moved almost all of our infrastructure into Microsoft Azure. That had a massive impact on reducing our carbon footprint there. And then similarly with travel, we've now designed the building so that every single one of our meeting rooms is a hybrid meeting room, so we can reduce the amount of people having to travel just simply to be in the room with people. So we're chipping away at it, and the estate strategy is certainly underpinning that.
I think, like colleagues here, we're also looking at travel. So we've got in all of our offices, and our main office at the Bailey, hybrid working in all of our offices and encouraging teams to do that, to reduce travel. We significantly reduced our travel last year and this year, even summits and things like that, being creative about how we bring global teams together is having a big effect. And leaders will also have metrics and specific goals around sustainability. So it is, we're a purpose-driven organisation, our clients are demanding it, and therefore we are really leaning into initiatives this year.
For a medium-sized organisation like ours, we need the thought leadership of people like Cisco in helping us achieve the goals that we need to achieve as a byproduct of the way that we do business. Our focus is patient safety, delivering exemplary patient care. And we need the infrastructure that will deliver that in terms of technology, and that should be efficient and effective. And I think your story of moving to Azure and reducing emissions is fantastic. That's a journey we're just starting, so that's really exciting. But I think we need those thought leaders to challenge us and inspire us, and also to help us make it easy. Because if we have a very legacy environment, so not only do we have a 1930s building that needs investment, we also have a fairly legacy application architecture as well that we are desperately trying to shift to Azure, but also move away from big monolithic applications to technology that more effectively automates business processes. And if we can do that in a way with partners who help us achieve that in a more environmentally sustainable way, that I think ticks more boxes.
Yeah, so Scope 3 emissions has been really interesting. We undertook a project last year to do our Scope 3 measurement. And a lot of that, almost all of that, is in our supply chain. Lawyers don't generate that much carbon footprint on their own. So what we've been doing is going out to the supply chain and That's because our clients are demanding, but it's also, it's the way that the sector is moving. What we've found is some partners, Cisco is a good example, have done that work, have done the hard yards, know really at a detailed level what each part of their supply chain is creating, and they can give us very granular views of our scope, the scopes 3 emissions. Others really are not on that journey, particularly on the consulting side. I understand it's more difficult for them, but a lot of our partners on that side have struggled. There are proxies you can use, but that's an area where we're working with them, and more and more I will be asking suppliers before we engage them now.
Yeah, we're on a similar journey with scope 3 emissions, and the data and the tracking and the metrics and having accessibility of that has been key to driving our kind of sustainability policies. And I think that's going to become so critical, partnering. It's very difficult to achieve goals unless you've got the data and you're setting yourself clear targets. So we found that invaluable in terms of our sustainability kind of planning and getting up through the organisation, which is the key, like we said, so that everybody understands that whether they're in IT technology or working with clients or marketing, that everyone's got a role to play in figuring out kind of how those goals really become cemented into our deliverables.
We all know that cost of electricity and energy went through the roof. And we did a very simple campaign in the hospital that said, if you're not using it, turn it off. That resulted in a double-digit drop in electricity loss. So simple, which if we can sustain. So it's about making it meaningful for people, guiding people through the change. And then for people like us who are still on legacy internal data centers and using big old clunky legacy applications with an aspiration to move to the cloud and a more composable, orchestrated automation of business processes, we need to thread ESG through that, and that's where we need that thought leadership.